It is your boy, Black Ronin, back on at it again with another banger and fire video for y'all's out here today there, y'all. Welcome on back to the channel. But guys, I'm finna cook on this woman right here, Lilly Gaddis. I normally don't go in on people, but this video right here, it really, I ain't gonna say it got to me, but I just feel like I need to share my side of this and a different perspective, because I feel like this is the least thing you need to worry about as an American right now. First of all, we're on population decline. So, like, bro, like, nobody's even having children anyway. Like, the cost of living is going through the roof. And the real issue, which I'm going to get to in a moment, but look at the title of this. The shocking truth about race mixing, what they don't want you to know. And I watched this video all the way through. I'm not gonna play it because I feel like this person will be on some petty shit and try to go ahead and try to copyright, the video. I just feel like she'll be on that type of time. But she was basically talking about, why race mixing should be shamed, looked down upon, and saying that, hey, you are destroying and messing up generational bloodlines. Listen, as a person like myself with my phenotype, who clearly has a lot of different genes from all over the place in him, I'm one of the people that I would say, like, I got a generational mix, even though my parents are, both black. My mom, she's definitely on the really lighter side. My dad, he looks like a normal black person. But down the line, like, I do got a lot of ethnic groups mixed together. So I come from generational mixing. Now, there are others out there with my phenotype who comes from, a black parent and a white, a black parent and a white parent, so, and we still got the same phenotype, and we still got similar experiences out here, and I needed to really talk about this video because this is very, very important. And I think a lot of people really need to hear this. So I'm gonna need y'all to watch this all the way through, because the tomfoolery that this woman said is just, it's just crazy to me. Now, she brought up the part here with what's his name? Yeah, Muhammad Ali. She brought the whole clip of him. Now, in that clip with Muhammad Ali, he was saying, I wouldn't want to be with anybody else. Listen, black people should stick together. White people should be with with their people and all that stuff. Yes, in that time, 100%, 1000%, and even to this current date, that is okay. If you want to be with your kind, I want to make something very, very clear, guys. If you, whatever race you are, or is your mixed race, there is nothing wrong with being with your own group of people. I do want to make that clear. But what I do take offense to, if a woman like this saying that we should shame people who are interracial and race mixing, like, listen, that, first of all, most people stick within their own group. That's the first thing. And if somebody dating out, like, bro, listen, they're still able to produce and they're still able to bring children into the world, adding more into our economy, which should be the main focus, knowing that we are on a economic downfall. And guess what? Our birth rates have hit a all-time low. So in terms of race mixing, that should be the last thing on your, like literally on your radar. So you can miss me with that. But let's just say we were more prosperous and everything. Even then, guys, like I said, most people tend to stick together and stick with their own race or group of people. But for somebody who just want to date out and they met the love of their life, and on top of that, they actually relate on stuff. Because listen, I'm going to drop some real wisdom too right now. As a melanated man like myself, like, the most attention I get is from white women. And even though this woman, she has said, well, a lot of women, that go for, melanated people, black people, they're usually mentally deranged, or, they hit the wall and all that. Listen, us melanated people, our standards are definitely more different compared to y'all. Like, us melanated people, not all of us, but we like the more curves and all that stuff. We like the little extra weight. We cool with that. Just as long as you're healthy, you hit the gym, and you got good morals, and we can actually relate, and you just got our back. That's all we care about, And if I'm keeping it 100, if you're a melanated man, you cannot lie to me. You cannot tell me that you don't get the most attention from white women, especially if you are a man like myself. Because a man like me, growing up, I stood out. See, I was always a nerdy guy, but I looked good. Like, this is me as a teenager. I kid you not. Every time I go to the skating ring and I come out, like, literally, I'll always have a girl. Hell, one time I was leaving the skating ring, I had a whole fucking fleet coming out, a woman. That's how good I had it as a teenager. And it was mostly white women. So this idea, I mean, hey, were they mentally deranged? I don't know, but that's a lot of women. And it's 25. Ain't most women kind of mentally unstable, if we keeping it honest? So you can miss me with that. And I'm just sat back and I'm listening to this woman going in on this. I'm just like, do you even get around people? Like seriously, like, do you really just sit down and just talk with one another? Like, we're not all the same out here. I always say this, guys, us melanated people, we are the most diverse people, like, that you can come across. What you see on TV and all that stuff and all the statistics and everything. Listen, we do have our problems, but y'all gonna act like y'all can't just sit back and act like, it's always been like that. Because going back in time, there was a time where melanated people used to surpass everybody in society. But then the government had to step in and they was like, oh, we don't like that. We're going to do something about that. And what did they roll out? The welfare and all that stuff. Broke up the homes. And we saw it trickle down to every other community. But we don't want to talk about that. And then on top of that, guys, this idea of just like with my phenotype, from race mixing, I want to let everybody know, listen, if you're a lighter skin or mixed race person, your genes is not tarnished. Your genes is like not destroying everybody else's, who led to to get everybody else here. Like, you're not that person that tarnished everything. You're the person that's the most unique. Your genes are literally unique, guys. And I don't know why that's such an issue for some people, but you know what? I'm not even stressing. Let these people hate. You have to be confident and happy within yourself and not let anybody like this come out here with all their shaming tactics. The real reason why this woman upset, because let's be honest, listen, white guys, like a real white guy, like a real Chad, he ain't stressing about a dude like me. Like, he gonna get whatever woman he want. He can go anywhere. Which is why you see a lot of them going out there to Thailand. And heck, I'm getting up out of here too pretty soon. I got my passport. I can't wait to dip out of here. So like a white dude, he can get whatever he want. And then on top of that, like a real one that most women want, like your Thor, your Captain America, your Steve Rogers and all them. Listen, there is not many of those guys walking around. The real problem, and we wouldn't have a problem in terms of race mixing, and people wouldn't take so much offense to it, if masculinity was on point. Masculinity and femininity has been weaponized so much here in America. And it's like, it is crazy how far off men and women have just become from one another. That's the real problem. Men and women don't even like each other anymore here. And it's so sad. That's the real problem. Like, dude, like, most men don't even want to date. Most people don't even want to date, get married anymore. That's the real problem. And you out here worried about some race mixing. You got men out here, they rather take a AI, or they can't wait for the robots to come out and be with one of them. You got way bigger problems than worrying about some race mixing. And then on top of that, like, going back to whole masculinity and all that stuff, it wouldn't be hardly any race mixing if masculinity was on point and femininity was on point. Because check this out. If every man was walking around in every community looking similar to me, obviously not phenotype, but just body type, lean, healthy, not the biggest, strongest guy, but I look healthy. or ripped, if most men were walking around like that and they were in tune to their masculinity and they stood on business, there would be no issues with in terms of race mixing, because with the femininity in check, like melanated people will already be together and be growing just like they was back in the day, just like white people was growing and moving back in the day. And keep in mind, the white population, guys, y'all are the majority. Like, what are you worried about? Like a melanated person getting one of y'all? Like, what's the issue? Like, a white guy can easily go to Lilly out there in North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming. He wants a more conservative woman. He got that option. But in my community, we have to maneuver a little different, because for me, my phenotype, you don't see too many people walking around like me. And for me, I'm instant competition for a lot of people. And I noticed, it took me a while to understand this, but I noticed, and I think that's the real reason why people don't like race mixing over here in America. It's just extra competition. And as more and more people start mixing together, especially if they're morally in tune with themselves, like myself, and more connected to God as well, like myself as well, that's a threat, because you're a top tier man. Even though the image of us has been wrecked by the media, which somewhat we kind of got control of, but we really got control now over YouTube. That's why things are changing. But in the mainstream media, our image is ruined, and that's not really our fault. In fact, I mean, I can go into real detail on that, but that's not fully our fault, because who's the majority in the US? It's white. Now, I'm not here pointing fingers, but you don't see people like me at the top running things up there. You see us in the spotlight, but we ain't running it. People who is running it, they look like y'all. So, hey, I'm just saying, don't come at us saying like, oh, we this, we that. Nah. Do we have our ways? 100%. But everything that going on in the melanated community, black people, mulattoes, all of us, that's not fully on us now. Black people, we do gotta take more accountability for ourselves, but understand, if you're a melanated person, the best thing you can do, level up yourself, grind, get your money. Because by the way, I ain't got no criminal record. Looking at me, people see the tattoos, they're like, oh, he probably a certain type of way. No, I just like tattoos, but I'm still a law-abiding citizen. I'm hardworking. I show people respect. I don't care what you look like. I treat everybody the same. That's how I was raised. I was raised right. And unfortunately, as you're a man like me, don't matter what race you are. And yeah, I ain't got my funds all together just yet, and that's okay. That don't define you. Just as long as you're going somewhere and you're building something, that's the whole point of being a man, to build. So when I get myself more on point, I'm getting up out of here. I ain't marrying in America. If you're a melanated person, don't marry here. You'll be a fool. But yeah, so I just had to snap on this one, guys, because this did not sit right with me whatsoever. Ooh, and I gotta expose her too. Since you so against race mixing, Miss Lilly Gaddis, explain this picture right here. Now, I don't know if it's AI generated. I just found this on the internet. I don't know all my facts on this. I don't know the backstory, so I will throw that out there. But explain this. If you do see this video, go ahead and just explain this. You're up here with a black guy. He up here hugged up. You up here all lovey-dovey up there. And some of y'all women think y'all slick too, be like, oh, I'm anti, race mixing, all that stuff. But don't mean you ain't been smashed by us. Have you given head? Ain't no telling what you done. Listen, I'm just saying, if you a melanated person, and cause I know what she was saying in the videos, like, why on earth would you want to get with us when, like, more compared to the black woman? Listen, a man loves getting attention. A lot of white women give us a lot of attention, even if they not the right ones. We don't get that in our community. Unfortunately, we don't really work together like that. There's a lot of hating going on in our community. It's hate go around everywhere, but it's really bad in the community. And on top of that, don't let you be handsome like myself and on a lighter phenotype. Oh yeah, you finna get a lot of hate. You finna get a boatload of hate coming your way. But at the end of the day, I just had to really stick up for, people, a race mixing, because especially black and white, because guess what? Like, low key, that's a part of me, because my phenotype is what's going to come out for the most part, or lighter, maybe even a little darker. It just depends. But like my phenotype, you can look at me and be like, yeah, this person got some stuff in him. He got some multi genes and genetics in him, And I'm just here to tell y'all that if you're a mixed looking person or light skinned, you're special. Don't ever let nobody tell you, that you're a tarnish to multiple generations you destroyed for this. Nah, don't believe that. You're a very special human being, and don't let anybody shame you out of that. And in terms of race mixing being the norm and everybody coming out looking like me, no. America is going extinct. A lot of Europe is going extinct. But you know what country is going to be prospering? And in fact, this is a statistic. It's Africa. Africa has the highest birth rates out of any continent. But here in America, our birth rates are going down. They're going down more and more in Europe. So the last thing you should be worried about is race mixing. We have a masculinity and femininity crisis going on. And on top of that, we have men that just don't want to date at all. Dating scene is brutal. Even if you're a man like me that look decent, you're still going to go through it. For real. And on top of that, outside of the masculinity issues, just a lot of people out of shape. That's another big problem. And men and women are just weaponized against each other. And it's so sad to see everybody just being put against each other and hating on one another, shaming one another for making certain decisions, when the people at the top, they're the main ones that's controlling all this. But you want to get upset for people going to go out here and race mix when we're on a population decline. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And like I said earlier, if you want to stay with your own, that is okay. I'm not here to shame you. But don't come around here and shame people and get in your feelings, roast people simply for just wanting to race mix. As long as you're doing it for the right reasons, I don't see no issue. As long as you're doing it together and both of y'all are on a similar moral compass and on the same spiritual on a spiritual level, it can work. But you better tell your son or daughter, listen, when you pop out in this world, it's gonna you're gonna have a lot of hate, because people are gonna see you as automatic competition. And this is what's wrong with this woman, because I guarantee she's in her feelings seeing this right here. Look at Zendaya and Tom Holland. She's in her feelings. Probably wish that was her. And also she's mad too, if I had to take a guess, because now the light-skinned mixed woman, that's competition, really big competition, because you got the Chads, they choosing on her too. I don't know too many Chads that's finna say no to Zendaya or people or Nico Parker, people looking like that. That's all it is. She just don't want to compete in the competition that comes with it, especially a woman that's raised right. And if that wasn't the case, look at the media. Why do you think the media tries to destroy a lot of mixed looking light skinned people? Yeah, we do make it in Hollywood and stuff a lot more, but look what they do with our image. You know how many women has automatically thought that I swing for the other team? But then once they get to know me, I'm like, no, I'm straight. But because the media has projected that onto a lighter skinned male like myself, like, that's how stupid people are. Same for the light skinned woman. They love to throw that narrative on her too. And yeah, there's confusion, there's messed up stuff in real life, but it's just the ignorance of people. And I just had to make that clear, guys, because I don't like seeing ignorant stuff like this. And I think the biggest fall that we have in America right now is that we just don't communicate anymore. We don't come together anymore as people. And that's a big problem. And like I said earlier, there is nothing wrong as you want to, stay with your own bloodline. That's cool. Like me, hey, I'm open for everybody. I still in general try to find somebody, that looks like me, light skin, mix in the mix area, or black, either one. And heck, I'm open to white girls too, because like I said, I get the most attention from them. So at the end of the day, as a black person or a melanated person, you can't get upset for us for dating out. I'm just saying. And I love my race of women. Yeah, we got our problems, but that's really the media that's screwing everybody over. And there are certain things in place that's really messing things up for us. But I'm not here to say that we can't make it. We can. We very much can. I'm making it right now. I'm putting in as much work as I can to get out of America, because I would never raise a family here. You'd be a fool to raise a family in America right now. We hit our lowest birth rates ever. Everything's crazy expensive. And on top of that, I've never seen the amount of hate that has just been in this country. It has never been this bad before. And then when I go outside, exercising, walking, I remember back in the day, I used to see white folks going outside, walking, getting their runs in. I don't see that shit no more. I barely see anybody outside anymore. So the fall of the average American is really, really bad, guys. And the last thing we should be worried about is race mixing. Now, if everything was prosperous and it was a massive push to just mix everybody together, even then, okay, that's people's decision. Look at the community. Look at your community. Look at my community. We got work to do then. The average American male and woman is overweight. Don't look all that great. So don't get upset when people crossing over here to this side of the race to go be with that person. Ooh, he look good, he handsome, and he doing all this. Oh man, let me go with that person. Or hey, if you're a dude and being like, ooh, she look good, treat me right, let me go with this girl over here. Shouldn't matter. But that's all I gotta say, guys. I had to snap on this one. I just feel like it's a jealousy thing. They don't want more competition out here. Like competing with people that look like Zendaya. Like, come on now. Or competing with people that look like me. Yeah, I'm not the most top of the line handsome person out here, but I look better than most Americans. I'll tell you that much. But that's all I gotta say. It's your boy Black Ronin. Let me know what you guys think. Y'all take it easy.